say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That motion carries. Second item is to consider and act on requirements for graduation.
Okay, in the past, students have had to have 30-plus credits to graduate because the high school's been on the block system. They're no longer on a total block system. Tennessee Department of Education requirements for graduation is a total of 22 credits. We're not changing anything that is requirements for their graduation to meet that credit threshold, but they would like to reduce that down to 22, and they would stair step that back, starting with the class of 2023. They would need to have 29 credits. Class of 2024 and below would need 27, with the incoming freshmen, if I'm correct, at 22. Yes.
Okay, I entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Miller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Parkinson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. That motion carries. Item number 3, consider and act on surplus property.
This is lockers at the high school. Want to remove those lockers to add classroom space. As many know, the school is busting at the seams for space for teachers. And with the addition of the one-to-one devices at the high school, students have computers at their hands, and that's what they use on a regular basis. Lockers have actually not been used for several years now. And we would like to do that in August, have seal bids back, returned in August.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we put them up for bid.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Hayes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Bashirs. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. That motion carries. Next item, item number 4, is consider and act on athletic trainer service.
The contract that is presented before you is with Star. As you know, we don't have a trainer that is active for all of our sports. Mr. Reed does do football, and we are so gracious that he does that. He's done that for many years, but to be able to provide more services for our students, we'd like to do Star athletic training starting July 1, 2022.
Do I have a motion that we approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Miller. Second by Ms. Cripps. We need to do a roll call vote on that one.
Yeah, I would.
Mr. Jim Bashirs,
Yes.
Mrs. Jamie Cripps,
Yes.
Mr. Alan Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Jason Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Kate Miller, Mr. Danny Parkerson,
Yes.
Chairman Sean Tubbs.
Yes. 6 yeses, so that motion carries. Next item is to consider an act on granting tenure.
The following teachers have met the requirements for tenure. That is 5 years of experience and received a 4 or 5 overall level of effectiveness the last 2 years. The following teachers are Tabitha Farmer, Christina Merriman, Sarah Story, Amy Fricks, Justin Poteet, Allison Collier, Teresa Jones, and Christy Spears.
Okay. Do we have a motion that we grant?
We grant tenure.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Hayes. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Bashirs. Any further discussion? Need another roll call?
Yeah.
Mr. Alan Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Danny Parkerson,
Yes.
Mrs. Jamie Cripps,
Yes.
Mr. Jason Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Jim Bashirs,
Yes.
Mrs. Kate Miller, Chairman Sean Tubbs.
Yes. That's 6 yeses, so that motion carries. Congratulations to those educators. Next item, item number 6 is to consider an act on differentiated pay plan for 2022 and 2023.
This is a pay plan that is required by the state of Tennessee. Each district has to provide one. We put in as our differentiated pay plan, academic coaches for each school. We put 2 at each school. Do you ladies want to add anything? Pretty much.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Motion made by Mr. Parkerson. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Bashirs. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed, say no. That motion carries. Item number 7 is to consider an act on 2022, 2023 GP and food service budgets.
This is kind of an end of an era for a budget program. Starting next year, we'll be working under the TISA formula, which is student-based, but this is the last year of the basic education program, as we've had presented to us over the years. In this budget, we have requested a $2,000 pay for certified staff, $1,000 pay for pay increase for non-certified. One thing I do want to add, some may think that it's not much of a raise, but our insurance really hit us hard this year. The aggregate across the board increase on insurance was 6.1%, with some plans going up as much as 10%. The state sends $1,000, has sent $1,000 for pay increase. And if we was to charge our employees, that $1,000 was only for certified staff at that. Non-certified does not receive anything from state funding. But if we only did the $1,000 with the increase of health insurance for our staff, that would wash out, probably would actually, some of them would be making less. To me, I won't go in great detail how I feel about that. Our people are not paid enough as it is. The time that they give, I think some people think that teaching is an 8 to 3 job and it ends, and they work for 9 months and that's it. What people don't realize is they put a lot of hours in. They put a lot of hours after work, preparing for the next day. They put in a lot of hours during the summertime for the next year. They're required to do 5 days of professional development. 5 days don't touch it. There's more that they have to do above and beyond 5 days. And with the trend of the increase in salaries across the nation, last year we gave a good raise to our faculty and our staff, and I'm proud of the board for doing that. But we can't sit on our hands and not continue to push to pay our people more and more what they deserve. Everybody else is catching up, and if you want to stay ahead of the race, you got to keep pushing. So I encourage our board to accept this proposal. We have done very well with our budget over the years. We're sitting good as far as what's in our reserves, and I'm proud of our staff for helping keep that honed in and to adding that, because we want to build a school and we want to continue to increase our teachers' salary. If the state's not going to do it, we need to do it, and I'm a firm believer in that. So that's my cry to you guys, and actually it's my cry to the state to help our teachers and our non-certified folks, all of our employees, to keep pushing to increase their pay so that they get what they deserve.
Do I have a motion for approval?
Make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Miller. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Bashirs. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. And that motion carries. Item number 8 is the personnel Report from the Director of Schools.
You've got it in front of you. It's long. It's not only our resignations and retirements, but it's also some of the new hires going into next year.
Item number 9, does any board member have any business that may properly come before the board?
We probably should discuss this and that, and they would talk about doing less paperwork with your, if you want to do away with doing all this and put it in a digital form and email it to us, I don't have no problem with that. I don't know about the rest of it.
He just put more work on this guy. No, I'm with you, Coach. I'm with you.
Well, I mean, I don't want to put more work on her. I figure it might be, once you get,
She said she'd take care of you.
you might send this and you can send it in an envelope. The agenda,
Just the agenda.
and then put the rest of it, and we can get it off of our computer.
Anything else? Do I have a motion that we adjourn? Motion made by Mr. Bashirs. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Miller. All those in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, say no.